put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it?
Check,
with
check.
a vengeance. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it?
Check. Yeah.
Let's own it. Put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it?
Man, I love this.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready. Let's go. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Corona, you can be a god that's own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Corona, you can be a god that's own it. I used to rock with these temples and these ones a long way, but they all are super fraud and they not getting the way they want me to keep it quiet. Who I tell it to their face? I'm flipping over tables on my way to the 8. To Harker Bay said it, now it's time to show and prove it. Got the same address and I don't plan on moving. This internet got these dope fiends acting ramble, dirty Frankie and some mess that they know we can't handle. When I pull up and I pull out a 1-2-5, don't be telling me it's 60 when I let that thing rip. Open hand and close fist, put the bands on the curb, put your chin to the back of your neck. Now that's my word. Put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Corona, you can be a god, let's own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Corona, you can be a god, let's own it. Let me ask you, who's doing it like to Harker Bay?
Nobody.
Who the people's grand sheep?
I am.
Huh? Show me a more doing it like to Harker Bay. And I shut my mouth. Let's go. I can't wait to see Roy Bay and sit him on his back pockets for the simple fact he disrespect the prophet when he speak. He embarrassing. He ain't a more American. The camera encourage him, so I will embarrass him. After that, I dip and take a trip to Carbondale. No, it ain't the hood. Oh well, coming with all the shells. Fine, yuck Bay, dozing off the Zoloft. Civilized the savage, so she can hate no more. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Corona, you can be a god, we own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Corona, you can be a god, we own it. You come up against me, you know you're gonna lose. Salt and pepper, gold teeth, flossing on for some views. Grown man ran rabbit ears, acting like a wild coon. Had a whole squad looking like a buffoon. I'm the man, just admit it. You wanna do it how I did it, forget it. It's my time now, good riddance. Oh yeah, Neil Bay, you late with the court date. Don't make the Moorish world citizens wait. Come on. Put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Quran, you can be a god, we own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Quran, you can be a god, we own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Quran, you can be a god, we own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Now get your own Quran, you can be a god, we own it. Didn't I try to tell y'all? I'm the king of this YouTube. Ain't worried about you dudes. Ain't nothing that you do to make me care. But I pray to Allah, you don't take me there. See, I'm the type to get in front this mic and sacrifice. Alright, you the type to get in front the mic and hope you get some likes. I used to back the thing that go bang bang and boom. Today my brain cells is a fully armed army platoon, and y'all some cartoons, coons and buffoons. You wanna meet on IG? I prefer high noon. I'm a quick draw McGraw standing on that floor. It's self, Lord and Master, Allah. See you dumb and you blind, can't see the summer is mine. You better pay attention, the answer's in between the lines. I'm the man still standing, kill them haters single-handed. Had them fighting each other with every punch I landed. Cut the head off the snake and his wife Medusa. And after Sinetta got the rest of them losers. Inky Yuck Yuck, Neil Bay in the debate league. Queen's Phone, Sweet Mom, and Triple C. Uncle Sug, OC, and the rest of them lanes. See, I'm calling names cause I ain't playing no games. Don't let your bride write a check that you know gon' bounce. Take heed from Dr. Inky, he out for the count.
See, I've been doing my work.
Come on, man.
I've been on my raw diet.
I've been on my raw
I've
diet.
been eating that raw seaweed. I've been doing my push-ups. I've been getting my back rubbed. I've been doing my workout.
I've been doing my workout.
For these things. We got Yuck Yuck with guns to the head.
I've been doing my workout.
We got Inky in the background.
Huh?
He back here crying now.
Come on, man.
We got Sinetta everybody
Run
this
it back
thing.
one more time. The guest dropped
It's not a
out.
game, man.
Can I run it back one more
That's the
time?
way we run this thing.
Let me run it
It's
back
not a
one more
game, I
time.
said. It's not a game.
It's not a game, man. Let me run it back one more time. The guest dropped off. Let me run it back. Oh, she back in. I gotta run it one more time, man. I gotta run it one more time. I gotta do it one more time, man. This ain't no joke, man.
I'm the king of this YouTube. Ain't worried about you dudes. Ain't nothing that you do to make me care, but I pray to Allah, you don't take me there. See, I'm the type to get in front this mic and sacrifice, alright? You the type to get in front the mic and hope you get some likes. I used to back the thing, that go bang bang and boom. Today, my brain cells is a fully armed army platoon, and y'all some cartoons, coons and buffoons. You wanna meet on IG? I prefer high noon. I'm a quick draw McGraw standing on that floor. It's I, self, Lord, and Master, Allah. See you dumb and you blind, can't see the summer is mine. You better pay attention, the answer's in between the lines. I'm the man still standing, kill them haters single-handed. Had them fighting each other with every punch I landed. Cut the head off the snake and his wife Medusa. And after Sinetta got the rest of them losers. Inky, Yuck, Yuck, Neil Bait in the debate league. Queen's Phone, Sweet Mom, and Triple C. Uncle Sug, OC, and the rest of them lanes. See, I'm calling names cause I ain't playing no games. Don't let your bride write a check that you know gon' bounce. Take heed from Dr. Inky, he out for the count.
See, I've been doing my workout. I've been on my raw diet. I've been eating that raw seaweed. I've been doing my push-ups. I've been getting my back rubbed. I've been doing my workout. I was ready for these things. We got Yuck Yuck with guns to the head. We got Inky in the background. He back here crying now. We got Sinetta having Bible study. It's not a game, man. Talk away, we run this thing. It's not a game, I said. It's not a game.
Man, let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Y'all ready to get busy? Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. This how we got started. I'ma be the boy you gonna remember. You ain't never met a boy like me, and you know it's the truth. Come on.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember.
You ain't never met a boy like me.
Front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number.
You a friend of the Lord, then you's a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it was straight fact. You tripping off Trump, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European, I'm a babe. And look at that women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Hell nah, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing pills, weed and syrup. Yeah, they all know Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Ross, Lucid. But when the love for the woman look like your mother, I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now cypher, I be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember, that's right. I be that boy you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember, that's right. I be that boy you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler, this era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock a fast. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know I ain't slow. I seen it all before. How they try to kill the prophet, it was all for dough. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my vast estate. I want my town, my sheriff, my stores, my school, my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debate. Y'all keep hating when love is the savior. You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's why you killing, fighting, marry out of your race. If you ain't for Moorish world, then get out of my face. Cause Chinese love China, Italians love Italy. If you used to love the Moorish world, come on and build it with me. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more you gon' remember. That time.
I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA. I be that more you gon' remember. New York. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number.
Welcome to another edition of Morris World TV. Let me get my mic right. Let me get my back right. I've been getting my back rubbed. I've been eating my my seaweed. I've been eating my raw seaweed. Do y'all realize I get a kick out my own self? I'm telling you, if you are not entertained, then you need to turn the channel, because I actually entertain myself. But anyway, we ain't go without no further ado. This one is somewhat bittersweet. It's a story about a sister that faithful member of the new Black Panther Party. The bitter part is that she's facing a situation that none of us would even dread to even would even consider to be even a dream. It'll be a nightmare. She's facing a situation with not having her children with her due to a chain of events that we'll be talking about. And I mean, y'all, I think y'all been around long enough. Y'all know how I get down. You know, I'm a hands-on father, and I just couldn't imagine being away from my children. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine if I was a part of an organization such as I am, the Moorish Science Temple of America, and everybody wouldn't band together to help me get my babies. You know, anybody that watched Moorish World TV, y'all know how I get down. Y'all know how me and Taji get down. Anybody press 7, y'all know Taji? Y'all know how Taji get down. Y'all know how Liam get down. Y'all see me if y'all on my Facebook, if y'all on my some of the pictures I post in YouTube on the post section, y'all see me with my sons. I rock with my sons. I mean, you know, and I just couldn't imagine, you know, having some foreign authorities, and I say foreign authorities because they're not family. Their concern is really not for the well-being of the children. I just can't imagine that my children would be plucked away from me and I'm alone trying to fight the battle, and I was a part of an organization. And I dedicated my time, I dedicated my efforts, I dedicated my money, I dedicated my heart. And when I need you at the most critical time from an organizational perspective, you're not there. And when I say from the organizational, I'm not talking about the friends that do their best to be a supporter, to be a support however they can. I'm not talking about that. When I'm talking about an organization, I'm talking about a structure that people are under, and in this case, for the sake of liberation. You know, everybody's supposed to band together. Everybody is supposed to band together. And it's very unfortunate at the top of this organization, it is said to be a lawyer who actually deals with these sorts of social issues, because this is a social issue where the government feels that they have reason to believe that you're unfit, or they have reason to believe what somebody told them, or they have reason to believe that they have the ability to come and take your children. That's a government situation, but it's a social issue, and it's a social issue that plagues our community. You don't hear a lot of this happening in a lot of other communities. In our community, these Europeans, they can come take our children off of a speculation, off of an allegation, or off of what they believe is an interpretation of not a healthy environment, you know, and you don't have nothing to say for it. Only thing you got to do is sit back, hurry up, and wait until you're able to talk to somebody to maybe get some sort of relief. But in that hurry up and wait moment, while you're hurrying up and wait, listen to the psychology, hurry up and wait, because there's nothing you can do. During that time, everybody's supposed to be banding together. They supposed to be banding together. Like, today, Malik Zulu Shabbaz, he went all the way down to, I think it was South Carolina, North Carolina, wherever it was at. And wherever he went today, he left his home and he stood out there and yelled at a European inside of a building. He stood and yelled inside of an old 80-year-old European inside of a building. And he went on and on screaming Black Power. And justice should take its course with that lady who initiated that drama to Emmett Till. But we have two of our young princes, not princess, princes should be kings soon, that is out of the company of their mother. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to allow my sister to introduce herself, and we're going to take it from the top. Welcome to Moorish World TV, Sister Pearl. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm glad to be here.
So sis, I kind of gave the Moorish World TV citizens the backdrop of what's going on. I don't want to go too far ahead, but I want to ask you a little bit about you. Where are you originally from? Are you still living where you're from now?
Yes, I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, so that's where I am now.
You're from Memphis, Tennessee. What made you one day say, you know what, I want to join the Black Panthers?
Well, when I moved back here, actually, I just always knew that I was going to stand for my people. So when I moved back here, it was a situation where a young man was shot in the back by Memphis Police Department, and I was in the middle of that protest. And while I was out there, I was approached by a sister who was once in the organization as well. And she said, well, you're a strong sister. You won't mind joining? And I was like, yeah, sure, anything for my people, because that's the way I came up. So ever since then, which is 2019, the beginning of 2019, I believe, that's I've been a part ever since. I've been active ever since.
So when you joined, what is the process of joining? How does that work? I mean, I don't want to give up the great details because first people say, "Oh, you an op." So you don't got to go into no great detail. But is it a process where you're interviewed or something like that?
Actually, kind of for into the local chapter here. We sat down and we talked to each other. I did application fees, did the application and everything, and I guess been boots on the ground ever since. So they knew that I was a strong sister that's well, worth it to be in the organization. And I got in it. And once I got in it, I kind of understood my deeply purpose of, okay, yeah, I'm for my people. So that was my purpose. So
once you joined, is there some sort, because the reason why I'm asking these questions, let me underscore why I'm asking these questions. The reason why I'm asking these questions is because it seemed like it's all over the place. I had to interview over 100 people in relation to the armed organizations within our community. I know I interviewed over 100 people. But it seems like everywhere you look, no matter under which name that has splintered from the new Black Panther Party, it's all confusion. It doesn't seem to be as organized as the media have portrayed it in the 90s and in the early 2000s. It just seemed all over the place. So when you joined, was there some sort of protocol training, or like, how do you get acclimated?
I mean, we had multiple trainings. And I can honestly say it was well organized, and it was very well organized. I met many people, and I never saw so much unity in my life, like far as so many Black people coming together, standing for the people. So it was very well organized when I joined.
So during the time that you joined, who was the I guess the head would be the chairman, right?
Yes, correct.
So who was the chairman when you joined?
Well, when I joined, my chairman was Hashim Nzinga.
Okay.
Yes, and he held it all together. So that was, to me, that was like the strongest person that I ever met that could keep a organization intact and well balanced and controlled and disciplined. So when I joined, yeah.
So I'm gonna go forward and back kind of. When did you ultimately said this is enough for me, or are you still apart?
Well, when I joined Hashim Nzinga in one of the summits in Atlanta, he was like, after he was talking, and he was like, "You in it for the people. Once a Panther, always a Panther. It's not no such of not being a Panther."
Oh yeah.
And as I do my own research and study, yes, the original Panthers, I mean, they were for the people, you know, it wasn't for themselves. So I'm gonna always be a Panther. But what drew the limit when I say enough was enough, far as being a part of my local chapter. I still put boots on the ground, but drew the limit was when I was actually, when all this happened to me and my kids, and I've been reaching out and reaching out, even my local chapter here. No one just like, we're not, I mean, we don't know what to do, you know. So
Okay.
I'm like, well, you know, we come together. That's part of the, you know, we make changes. We find out what's happening. We draw the line and we come to some conclusion. But apparently no one's was ready for that. So
Okay. Now
that
let me go
wasn't enough
back.
for me.
Now let me go back. What was the difference outside of what we're going to talk about in a minute, what happened with your children? What was the difference between the leadership then when you joined and the leadership now? Like, what did you do? Are you
Wow.
able to see a difference, or
Yes, yes, yes. I see a big difference. When I joined then, like I said, we was very well tight. We was organized. We were together in unity. It was like straight black love. Like, we're gonna get out and educate the people, and everybody was for the cause of whatever happened. You know, we was there no matter what city it happened in. Everybody, no matter what person, what brother or what sister went through what, we was there in support. But now, you know, it's like I don't see any of that. I mean, I do, but I don't. It's like I see picks and chooses.
right?
And I say that, you know, we for the people. It shouldn't be a pick and choose. When sure enough, if you have a queen or a sister that's going through something, dealing with a system who we're supposed to stand for, you know, we supposed to be deep for defense for our people. So yes, it's a big difference now because so many people has like left, strong brothers, strong sisters, has left. It's just a lot. Like, people have been getting jammed up in the system. No support has been taken. So I'm like, I said, you know, if they're not for the people, we can't be for each other. Then, like, what is the purpose of trying to grandstand or be like, well, we still gonna get out here? I mean, that's we can still get out there, but when a big strong situation, sure enough, like the case that I'm dealing with right now, I have no one, like literally no one. I have been beaten by South Haven, Mississippi police, state troopers, me and my
Yeah,
son.
exactly. So let me. That's what I'm saying. Let's just walk through it one thing at a time, so people can really understand the gravity of your experience. You know what I mean? So, and I know that we'll talk about your children's situation after we get to some of the other things. You said that what sort of things that you encountered, right? Whereas though you had expected outside of your children's situation, we'll put that on the side for 1 second. What sort of things that you encountered that you expected for maybe the leadership or the comrades to come and surround you and protect you and maybe help you through it? You said something about the police or something?
Yes. Well, I mean, even if what I expected is not happening, I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. But in a situation like this where we go up against polices all the time, far as being in DC, Georgia, North Carolina, anywhere I've been, we go up against the injustice. And so in my situation, all of it has been injustice. So as a Panther, as an organization, I would expect that, the family here. I would expect the family support. I would expect, to see that Black love like we once had. That's what I would expect.
So I mean, but I'm trying to figure out like what happened with what happened around the story surrounding the police. Did I miss it? I'm looking at a lot of things.
I was on my way to get my tags down in Greenwood, Mississippi.
Okay.
And a regular routine traffic stop. The police took my driver's license and ran me in. He said he smelled, well, he didn't say anything at first. He just asked for license and registration, and he got my license. And when he came back, it's like he was already kind of aggressive, and he had me to step out the car. And when I stepped out the car, then, it just went from there. It's like, he was like, I got to place you under arrest after I did the sobriety test. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? What, I'm still confused of a lot. And I was trying to get my son I was like, well, let me get my son to call someone. And when I turned around, he just grabbed me and slammed me on the ground. So I'm having a problem at this shoulder right now. But yeah, I was slung on the ground, and my son got out the car and told the officer, hey, you don't have to do my mom like that. And he was trying to help his mom help me off the ground, and the officer just started beating my son. So we just shielded each other and drug each other back to the car.
Did you get arrested that day?
Yeah, we both got arrested.
What? Now, being a part of the new Black Panther Party, how long ago was this?
This was March the 14th of this year.
This year?
Yes.
Did you even reach out to your leadership, like Zulu? Like I put on a flyer that Malik Zulu Shabbaz abandons a Panther. And what I mean to say by that, when I say abandon, I just mean that he hasn't come to your aid according to our initial conversation. He hasn't come to your aid at all. But in that situation, did you make him aware of that situation?
I felt that well, the video is on Facebook if you guys want to check the video out. It's on my page on Facebook. So apparently a lot of other Panthers have watched it and saw it. So I felt that I have been neglected actually since the situation with my children, and
which one was first though? But which one was first, the children's situation or the cops?
It was my children's situation. That happened in 2019.
Okay, I got you. So
I just felt that, even if I would have reached out, I still probably wouldn't get no help.
It makes sense. Because if he's not going to help you with your young children, then of course he's not going to help you with the police brutality. With that being said, so was there anybody within the Panthers that offered you any type of whatever help that they could help you with? You know what I mean? Some people, in the Panthers, let me tell you, some Panthers is a gumbo of a lot of different personalities, as we know. Some people, I seen a brother with a fez on one day. You know what I mean? He might be the law one. They think they know, the Moors think they know everything about the law. He might be the law one. But then you got the brother with the unk. He know comedic science. You got the brother with the Quran, Imam. You know what I mean? He's a Muslim. You got all sorts of stuff. But did you have anybody that offered any type of assistance whatsoever outside of the leadership, comrade-wise?
No.
Wow.
I mean, I have one sister here that's in Memphis, and she put boots on the ground as well. But we're just not started back talking. So it wasn't nothing bad on our end, but she always there for me no matter what. So but she can only do so much herself. So it just
absolutely. And let me make this disclaimer. I'm not talking about friends and support systems where you could talk to people. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about from a legality perspective and maybe trying to guide you in the right right perspective of how to address something like this legally. So if you're friends in the comment section, I'm not talking about the moral support and the emotional support. That's not what I'm talking about. So don't think that sister say, well, no, I didn't get nothing. She's talking about you. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm only referring to legal help or pushing, reaching out and trying to guide you in the right direction in order to deal with it. So since 2019, I gotta ask this: what do you feel that that is a significant accomplishment being a part of the new Black Panthers as an organization?
Since 2019, I think this would never even went on long enough. It would never even went on this long. If you know the organization or the heavy support, it would never took this long. I would never be fighting right now.
Right. So you saying if Hashim was here, you feel as though that you would have had this resolved and in the bag and kept it moving?
Yes.
So now we got to talk about the mouse in the room. Not the elephant. We got to talk about the mouse in the room that's creeping around. What do you feel that Malik, because he's the attorney, and I know people are like, why are you so hard on Malik? Why are you so hard on Malik? He's the leader. It's like, I'm a grand sheik of the temple, right? And if members go bunkers or do something, I mean, the first thing they're gonna say, oh yeah, he under Tahaka Bay, or he under Johnson Bay, he under the Grand Sheik. You know what I mean? Oh, that's one of Grand Sheik. You know what I'm saying? But fortunately, we don't have that. But I'm gonna have to deal with it as a leader. You feel what I'm saying? So
right.
I don't want people to think that I'm so hard on Malik Zulu Shabbaz. I do think he's them people, without a doubt or contradiction. But I will not unfairly assess him. But I will say that what do you think, if anything, he should have done to assist you? And we'll get into what happened with your children. What do you think he should have done to assist you?
Well,
as a leader,
the number one step is at least reach out to me. At least reach out to me. Let me know that you looked over my paperwork. Let me know that, give me some advice or something, or refer someone to me. Let me know. Just talk to me. You're a leader because I'm the organization. So at least let me know.
Right. And so has he ever reached out to you?
No.
Come on, Malik. Now, Malik, I'm hard on you, Malik, but this is ridiculous here. This is ridiculous here. So you say he never reached out to you. All right, let's get straight into it. What actually happened, and when did it happen concerning your children? What year was this? Last year?
It was 2019.
2019. What month? Because when did Hashim pass?
The month of June. Hashim passed. Actually, when they took my kids, September of 2019, when they physically fully took them, Hashim was still alive. And I was still making maneuvers then. But me and Hashim even talked about the situation. We did. And he was giving me some advice. And all he was like, sister, we're going to get around to it. I'm going to look into it. And I have also showed Hashim all my paperwork. So me and Hashim literally have sat down and talked about it.
Mm. All right. So here we go. Now, I heard it in part, a lot of it. So what actually happened in 2019?
That was the year I moved back, the end of 2018, and 2019 comes involved. You got those people out here, when they know you got kids showing up here in the city of Memphis, you got a lot of haters. You got a lot of people jealous. And these are not people that I don't know. These are people that I do know that have been jealous from way before I left the city. So with my children, like I said, my boys never since I've been away many years, they haven't been around they father's side. So they want to come back and they want to hang with their father's side. And not knowing they cousins, not knowing what they would do. So I had a 13-year-old at the time. He was got into some trouble with his cousin. His cousin was stealing, and Memphis police then, since the cousin ran and got away, they tried to charge my 13-year-old with everything that he took. And I was able to get a lawyer at that time. And when we finally went to court, they dismissed it all. So now when my 16-year-old son went around this same cousin and the same thing, and at that time I was out of town, on a maneuver. I got my daughter, got her a place to live and everything. So they wanted to stay with their sister. They didn't want to go with me. They big enough. And they wanted to be around their family on their dad's side. I don't keep them away from around their family. So I get a call saying that my 16-year-old had got arrested around this same cousin. And when I spoke with the DCS lady, she called me. And I said, well, my kid's never been in any trouble. Can y'all hold him for a couple of days to teach him a lesson? And she says, well, I'll call you back. Let me see what the judge has to say. And so when she called me back, June 4th of 2019, she calls me back and she said, well, the judge made a decision to remove the rest of your children from the home. They didn't come out and do a home study. I just thought it was all a joke. I brushed it off to the side. Didn't think nothing else about it because I was like, my kids been with their mom their entire life. I'm not giving my kids to no state. And so I finally got court dates set up when I got back home for my 16-year-old to address what he had done or supposed to have been done. And I went to court the first time in August. They reset the court date because they didn't know what charges he was charged with. They didn't know what to run concurrent. And so the next court date was August 24th, I believe. And they didn't know what to do then at juvenile court here in Memphis. They didn't know what to do. So they reset that court date now. We showed up both court dates. Now, September the 24th comes around. We stood up in court for him. Now, the judge totally took his attention off for my son's case. And that's when he tells me, oh, well, we've been looking for you to turn your kids in, put a bench warrant for her. So they put a bench warrant out for me all this time now between June, the allegation was made, until that September. No one has came. I had moved back and lived with my father. No one has came to do a home study at my father's house or my daughter's house where my kids be at. So they locked me up from court September the 24th, and they went to all my kids' school and they withdrew them from school. And that was one of the allegations as well, said that I took them out of school, but they withdrew them from school. Okay, I can't hear you. I can hear you.
Did you receive anything about what they accused you of specifically?
No. I didn't find out the allegations until October the 13th.
and what
after they took my kids.
And what were those allegations?
The first allegation is stated that the mother withdrew her kids from school because she felt the government was messing with their heads. But yet they withdrew all my kids themselves. The second allegation was the mother appears to be suffering from mental illness and refuses treatment.
Let me stop right there for a second. Wouldn't that be easy to prove who signed them out? Because in every school, somebody have to sign.
Correct.
And not only signed in 2019 and beyond, there's cameras in every school. And usually, do y'all buzzing down in the South?
It's cameras everywhere, so they, Yeah.
So that should be easy to prove. Have you ever tried on your own just to go and retrieve the footage? Because that's something you can do as a citizen.
When I got out of jail, for that, I did go to the schools. Apparently, they must have told the schools not to tell the mother anything. So, but I went to the schools and I was telling the principal I said, well, I've been on their paperwork since birth, and y'all can clearly see that I enrolled my kids in school. But they was like, oh, we can't tell you anything. So all the schools have told me that we can't tell you anything. You have to take that up with the people at juvenile court. And that's what they told me.
Wow. So you joined early 2019, and by the end of 2019, there
well, actually, I joined the Panther Party 2018 when I first moved to Memphis, the end of 2018.
Okay. Do you think there's any connection with you being a member of the Panthers and these authorities, as we would say, coming for you?
Yes, I do. Because the allegation that were made, all of that was false, and it was no reason. So I honestly believe that I was being heavily targeted. I do.
And the reason why I asked that, because I think when I spoke with you earlier, I said, I used to cover the stories about Grandmaster Jay and the NFAC. And one of the things that I mentioned was that I felt as though that people were setting themselves up to be targeted, because the way that he was organizing, he was organizing online. He was telling people to send your ID. I mean, like, nobody don't even know him. Like, he telling them to send a picture ID. And I mean, it was just crazy. It was crazy. And I just thought that, yeah, this guy's setting people up, So in this situation right here, when your sixth sense kick in and you like, hold up, I think I'm being targeted. Well, are you able to reflect back and see any situation where you can say honestly, like, this is when I'm starting to being targeted, or this is when they started to bother me? Is there anything other than the children's situation?
I do. There was a maneuver here in Memphis. One year. I think it was maybe 2019. Yeah. 2018, maybe 2018 before it happened. It was a maneuver here. We did for the June 10th event, and they kicked us out of the FedEx. They kicked us out of the park. And like I said, our pictures, once we being posted, once they see our pictures and who we with, and they know that I'm a citizen of this city right here, oh yeah, we got her, So I honestly believe that ever since then, and they see that I educate my young people, I'm out here cleaning up the communities and stuff like that. Oh yeah, we got to stop her. So yes, I at that point, I do believe that that's when they said, no, we can't have this type of activity here in Memphis. So yeah, I believe that.
But so when you were cleaning up the community, you was doing it with your uniform, and there was full Black Panther regalia.
Yes.
I'm to the point now that I'm of the thought that, like, if you actually joining these Black Panthers today, you can expect to be targeted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm actually to that point now that you can literally expect to be targeted. You know what I mean? Because you look at Malik Zulu Shabbaz, who's been around for 25, 30 years, and he has never experienced any of this harassment.
Wow.
Not that I know of. But it's everybody around him that seems to get targeted to the point where they actually end up in a cell, in a scuffle. I mean, if you're a true freedom fighter, is it reasonable to believe that 25 years or better, you're not going to at least have 5 or 6 encounters with the authorities that you said you're fighting against?
I agree.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. So what did you do? What did you shout out to? Hey, Wolf, I called you today. Text my phone, bro. Text my phone. I got something for you. We got something going on this weekend. Hit me up. He said because they're not a threat. He is the feds. That's my big bro. Hey, so do you think what did you do to try to remedy this situation within the organization? Did you reach out to Malik? Did you because this is your
But
children, this is your flesh and blood. What did you do?
oh yeah, I reached out to Malik. Like I said, when I joined the party and couple maneuvers afterwards, and understood and learned that he was the Black Lawyer for Justice, and I know that he was Hashim. He was right there with Hashim. And like I said, I was told actually to reach out to him. I didn't reach out to him on my own. There were a couple Panthers that was previously Panthers that were in the organization have said, well, hey, you need to reach out to Malik. He can help, da 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 this and that. And I didn't reach out to him personally. It was, I guess, a secretary or another Panther that reached out to me and said, hey, he wants to review all your documents and everything. So I gathered all my paperwork, all my documents, and I sent it to him. I mean, I sent it to her, and I haven't heard anything else back from that. I
Did
mean,
you
it wasn't.
so you emailed the documents, every document that you had, and
Mm-hmm.
have you called or did you follow up? What did you do? Because I'm just looking at what did you do? You know what
Well,
I'm saying? Like,
far
because the only
far
thing we
as
can
follow,
control is what we do. How did you follow up?
yeah, far as following up, I kept reaching out to the sister, to the point I was starting to get no response. And so what I started doing here in the city of Memphis, at that time with the chapter here, it was only just two of us. Like I said, it was me and this other strong sister. During the time I was even locked up, they locked me up for the second time again. I got locked up, arrested the second time on this same situation. And that sister had caught the bus. At that time, she didn't have any transportation. She caught the bus to juvenile court, and she had so many questions for them. And she was reaching out. And when I got out of jail, we was down there. We did a little small protest, but it was just me and her, and maybe a friend or two, and that was it. And we kept pushing, just us. And then we would have our little meetings in our chapter, and to see what could we come together and do. But it's like all the chapters to me now is just falling apart. Like no one's want to put the boots on the ground, put the work in. So my chapter was like, hey, it's no point of us doing nothing. So I basically went in like a deep depression. I reached out to the media here, Channel 5, Fox 13. I reached out to every news station you can pretty much you can name here in Memphis. I wrote a letter to the governor, Bill Lee. He wrote me back. I have a copy of that as well. I reached out to the mayor, which is Jim Strickland here in the city of Memphis. I got no response from him. I was told to contact the Mayor Lee Harris, the other mayor, whatever. I contacted him. I got no response. I kept going back and forth to juvenile court, back and forth to the city hall building myself, just by myself, because my kids have never been away from me, and I was going crazy because my baby girl, for sure her, because sex trafficking is heavy. These strangers, they are placing our kids in homes with strangers. And my kids have always been with mama. Everybody that knows me knows that I raise my children, other people's kids, just so on. So I was doing so much to myself to where I started breaking down. So I just kind of got silent myself and just kind of was like, okay, I'm not going to receive no help, no assistance. I don't know what to do. And now with this situation, with this police situation, now I was like, I'm about to go crazy now.
Now, outside of the Panthers, what about family? Your children's fathers? Your children's father? Did anybody was able to step in from the family perspective? How was that?
Well, they've been. I'm gonna say
Because
it
I'm
loud.
just saying, if
We gonna
because my
We're
children,
gonna
I'm
keep
like a
yeah,
father, I'm
right.
like super crazy, like
Well,
about my children.
we're gonna keep this raw. I'm gonna say it live. Well, they've been deadbeat since day one.
Oh my,
Juvenile court hasn't
I got you.
pursued child support, anything from any of them. I didn't care for child support. Not the fact that they didn't even care to help me keep the kids. I had 6 kids at the time, but even when I got 7 kids, no one said, "Well, let me get my children and give her a break," take them around my other kids. So I never had that. My kids always been with me, always. Not even the family. And my family, some was there, but now this is 2022. I have lost family members due to COVID. I have lost sister due to fentanyl, drug overdose, stuff like that. So, and I basically pretty much have hardly no one now. No one.
Mm, mm, mm. How many members? How many members was it on the ground in Tennessee? Because if you're in the Black Panthers and the Black Panthers, y'all have to be tight. Y'all have to trust each other. Y'all on the line with each other. Y'all on maneuvers with each other. You have to
Correct.
be able to trust each other. And y'all need to be there for each other. Was it
Right.
what about the Panther circle locally?
Well, during that time, we were strong. We were strong because, like I say, to be honest, I was mostly the strongest one that put in majority of a lot of work, doing a lot, picking communities and stuff. Most of the Panthers here in this chapter will always call me for advice or for areas where we need to go. So I was the one, I was out recruiting. I was the one doing a lot. And I'm not putting it all on me, but when I come up with, okay, we're going to go here, we're going to go there. Yeah, everybody pitched in. So during that time of the taking of my children, I think it was approximately maybe 14 or 15 of us, but we was growing. We was in the midst of growing until I guess people see that, hey, if they can't be there for the sister, it's no point of us joining. So we start falling.
So what was the number? Did y'all at least have about 5 or 6 people? Because
No, we had like close to 15 people.
15 people. And
Yeah, and we was actually close to 15 people, and we had a lot of people that was getting ready to join. We had a lot of people that was ready to put boots on the ground with us, but it didn't take off because, like I said, a lot of people was feeling like, well, hey, damn, they can't even be there for their own sister, So a lot of people was like, no, they was just because we were growing when we was putting in the work. We was doing the work of the Panther, what we stood for, and so that's what they saw. But when we got in meetings and when I started getting a bit frustrated during the time while we was growing, okay, now I was trying to get us to, let's get together and we need to go down here. Let's go down here so we can get this situation straightened with my kids. No one was there. So now you got people saying, no, they can't even be there for their own sister,
I'm looking at this video. I'm gonna show this video in a minute. That video looked crazy. I just was looking at it on your page while you was talking as I was listening to you, multitasking. I wish I would have got it earlier, but I got it now. But man, did they charge you with anything in relation to your children?
Really, they didn't. I haven't even been charged with anything. They don't even know what to charge me with. I went down afterward, maybe like a year afterwards, because I went on a maneuver, and one of the sisters, that we sat down, and she took time and looked over all my paperwork, and she said, "Well, right here it says they have evidence against you. You need to go back and find out what evidence." So when I got back to Memphis, I went straight to juvenile court. And I said, well, right here it says y'all have evidence. Can y'all show me or tell me what evidence y'all have?
Yeah, what was the charge that they said they had evidence for though?
It wasn't no charge. It was just a rewritten of their false allegations, and they tried to turn it around.
I got you. So how long this is so this has been since 2019 to now?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Have you seen your children since then?
Oh wow. I haven't seen my baby boy since he were taken. Well, I saw him after because he ran away from the first foster home, and he came to me. And my other son had ran away, and he came to me. And when juvenile court, I guess, had a glimpse of they were with their mom. I was at work one day, and juvenile court sent U.S. Marshal to my house, and I was living in some apartments, and my neighbors them said U.S. Marshal surrounded my apartment with guns and everything. So that was so humiliating to me. And they
They
took my
hold up.
dad.
They sent the marshals.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They sent the marshals to pick up your children. These are
Yes, they did.
and you say your children are 16 and how old?
They were at the time. One was 17. One they all back to back. 17, 16, 15. One just turned 14, and my baby girl, she was 11 at the time.
And so all of them were taken?
Yes, all five of them. I have seven,
Good
but the
goodness.
five
Oh
younger ones.
my. Come on, Malik. So they took 5 of your children.
Yes.
You know what? Earlier speaking to you, I didn't even realize that they took 5. I thought, taking one is too many. Let me just add, taking one is too many. But I was unaware that, and like I tell everybody that I pre-interview that I would like to be organic as possible. Like I don't want to know a lot of information. I just don't want it to go over the top outside of the context of the point of the show. And the point of this show is that we got to do better. You know, we're joining these organizations, and it doesn't matter if it's the Black Panther. It doesn't matter if the new Black Panther Party, if it's a Hebrew group, a Moorish group, or whatever. That if the leadership or the organization is not responsible for the membership, then what we joining for? You know what I mean? It's not a reasonable path towards liberation. It's just not a reasonable path if they're not going to be there to support the people. So anybody that's in here, I see people having all sorts of comments in the chat, some good, some bad, whatever the case may be. The point of this, whatever you decide that you feel about this story, one of the points is that she is a part of an organization. And this organization is predicated upon lifting oppression from our people. And regardless if we know every inch of the detail, the organization didn't even step to investigate it. Now, come on now. The have anybody ever called to even have an interview with you and to try to pick your brain?
No.
Did anybody ever see if you was Looney Tune?
No.
I'm talking about from the organization, because if you're a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, one of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to assess the situation. I'm be like, okay, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Is it your fault? Is it their fault? Or is it a combination of everything? What's going on here? So you mean tell me that no one assessed the situation?
No.
Have you ever heard any other stories similar to yours like this, where someone got themselves in a situation and the organization pretty much just washed their hands and turned their back and looked the other way?
Well, not pretty much. The other mothers that I came in contact with, who been in the same situation I have, they're not part of any organizations, but no one has spoken. So I'm basically the voice of these women here in the city as well.
And you're in Memphis, Tennessee?
Correct.
I thought it was some sisters on our show. I thought it was some sisters on our show from Memphis, Tennessee. Like Tiffany. Do you know Sister Tiffany?
No.
I don't know if she's from Memphis. I thought she was from Memphis. I'm not sure, but I think she was at one time with Ali, Mo Black, but she was also with Ali Muhammad, the revolutionary Black Panthers. But this is crazy. So Wendy, so you said you had mentioned to me that you go to court. soon. And is it is it a custody thing? What is your court all
Well,
about?
the only well, the court that I mentioned to you, that was the court for the police, what happened to me and my son. But the course with my kids, they due to COVID, they was doing everything virtual, like on the Zoom, and I couldn't get the Zoom app. But my dad, he was able to try to attend each session, and each session he would always tell me the outcome. They didn't make a suggestion of giving him my children or giving them back to me or nothing like that. So basically now, none this year, none last year. I haven't heard anything from the DCS worker lady. I haven't heard anything from juvenile court, no letters. I got one letter from juvenile court stating that one of my son case has been struck from the docket because he just recently aged out. So that's my niece son. He just turned 18. And so them the only letters that I got, like even with my other son that turned 18 last year, I got a letter from them saying his case was struck from the docket. But they haven't.
When they say struck from the docket, that means that he's 18 and he's free to do what he want to do. Has he come to see you?
Yes, they come right. They never been away from mama. They come right back to mama. Yes.
Okay. All right, I got you. This is something. This is something. I can't really, for me, I can't wrap my mind around you on a maneuver. Let me run this back. So you're on a maneuver in Atlanta. What was going on in Atlanta at that time? Was it something crazy going on?
We did the tribute to Dr. Khaled.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. So you was on a tribute to Dr. Khaled Muhammad, and your children, they were with your sister or with their
they was with my daughter. They was with my daughter, their sister. And who was at that time, she was 20 years old. Yeah, I'm about to have a 23-year-old.
Okay. And so so your son goes out, get in trouble, he gets locked up. And when he get locked up, they go to the house directly and go get the rest of the children. Is that how this works?
No, they went to the schools. When they locked
the next
me up,
day.
No, they didn't. Like I said, the allegation was made June 4th, and they didn't do nothing then. All the way to I enrolled my kids in school in August. Here it is September. When I went to court for my other son, my 16-year-old who had got in trouble. And that's when I had dropped my kids off at school and I got my other son and we went on to court. And they locked me up from court and they went to my kids' school and withdrew them.
This is, I'm looking at the chat. I want to see what people think in the chat, because it just seemed like that's what I was thinking. Did anybody say that, like your son or something, that my mama in the Black Panthers and she on a maneuver or something? Anything to try to make you a bigger target? Do you know anything about that?
No, only thing my kids said when I did see them finally in October at this little building where that's when they discovered to tell me the allegations. Only thing my kids just told me was, well, Mom, they was like, if you don't, your mama don't love you, if you don't do what they say, that means we can't come home and stuff like that. But they didn't mention to my kids about what I'm affiliated with or nothing, but they had probably already profiled me. So they just was trying to brainwash my kids to turn them against me. But that didn't happen because I got big kids.
Yeah. So what is your expectations when you go to court?
I don't know when is another court date for my kids now. It's like they just lost in the system. It's like the case is lost. So I don't know when will I go to court. I think the only option for me now is to obtain a lawyer to pull up another court date about this. And it's been so hard because no lawyers didn't even want to take this kind of case because they know that it's a case against them and they know it's a win-win case.
Let me find this video real quick. I think I have it. Let me see right here. I think I have it. I'm gonna try to pull it up. I want to show about this police thing um real quick. I think it's right here. There it is. Hold up. I gotta name it so I can pull it out right. We'll just put M. So I want people to see this because even this alone, in conjunction with everything else, should be addressed. Let me see. Is
Yes,
this the
because I'm being threatened to be locked up right now just for even talking about this situation.
is this it right here? Is this the
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
all right, let me set it up real quick. Uh hold up. All right, here you go. So family, bear with me. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, I'm doing this on the fly. As I said, I like to do it organically. So I'm doing this on the fly. But here's the video. Maybe you can describe what we're about to see in this video. Do you hear me, sis?
Uh-huh.
Like describe what I mean, reiterate what you had spoke about
So
earlier.
yeah, so what are you all about to see in the video? I had a lot of questions like, well, how did y'all end up on the passenger side of the car? Well, when the police officer was beating me, when he slammed me to the ground outside the car, and my son was trying to help his mom off the ground, he started beating my son. So that's when we shielded each other and we drug each other back to the car. So that's how we both ended up on the passenger side, because we feared for our life and we did not want to be arrested by the officer because he was already aggressive outside the car. We was afraid that we would too be a victim of a murder, black murders by in the hands of the law enforcement. So I did not want to get out the car, and I was not gonna and he took his attention off of me. So he really wanted my son. So I was like, no way in the heck I was gonna let this officer kill my son in front of me. And my grandbaby was in the car, and that is my daughter-in-law. You see as well. It's a second video of, you will see the second officer. He was also came up and beating us, but I have to share that later. But that's my daughter-in-law, and she was also filming as well. So
All
that's
right.
what you all about to see.
All right. So I'm gonna let it play real quick.
The police is pulling on me. Put it on the police here. The police. Y'all, this guy is in my car. Can someone help me? Somebody help. This man is in my mama's car. He just took my keys. Put it on me. This police, I'm on Highway 55. Hold it here. I'm on Highway 55. Y'all, me and my family, my grandbaby, Lena, I need y'all. What you trying to do? Call daddy. He's threatening to taser. Leave my son alone. Leave my son alone.
Everything went silent, so if you're talking, I can't hear you.
My apology. I have muted myself so I don't bleed into the mic. What was the reason that they gave you for even stopping you? I might have missed that. If I did, then everybody bear with me. I'm getting old.
He said that I was speeding. The speed limit on 55 is 70, and I mean, to my knowledge, you can go 5 miles over. So, but I have my cruise control set at 73, in between 72 and 73, and he was in the middle lane, and it was cars on the right lane. They were afraid to go past him and stuff, or whatever. So as I'm on my cruise control, I came up on him pretty fast. So that tells me he wasn't even doing the speed limit at all. So when I came up on him, I had to break off my cruise control. When I got off my cruise control, he turned his signal light on to get over. So the other cars slowed up and let him get over. And when he got over, I guess he was like, oh, she want to be a badass and pass me. Like, I'm supposed to be scared. No, I had to get back to work. So when I went past him, he just threw the lights on me. And I was like, and I went on ahead and pulled over, and he didn't tell me that he stopped me for speeding or nothing like that at first. He just asked for license and registration. And when he ran me in and when he came back, it was like a totally different thing. That's when he was like, oh, I smelled marijuana in the car. And I was like, well, Sarah, no one is here smoking marijuana. I had a cigarette lit and my son had his Black and Mild lit. And don't get me wrong, we had just did a little thing for my grandfather passing in the month of March. And there were people sitting in my car, but I don't smoke like talking about it. Every once in a while, I may take a puff, but I only did that at that time for my grandfather, and I was not in my car. So I'm still confused, like, well, wait a minute, sir, I'm smoking a cigarette, and he was not trying to hear none of that. None of that.
So let me finish playing it real quick.
What is your name, sir?
My hands up.
What is your name?
I have nothing in my hand.
What is your name, sir?
No,
Don't
bro,
pull my
let me
son.
go.
Y'all, we on Highway 55.
I just do not
Send emergency crews.
I'm grown.
We not far from
trying to see
South
what's
Haven.
going on.
This policeman is tasing
Sir.
us.
Sir.
Don't tase my
Sir.
son. Hey, he's tasing us. He's tasing us. Stop tasing my son. Help us, y'all. We on Highway 55. He tased me, y'all.
He tased me
Help
too,
us.
y'all.
Help us. Help us, y'all. Stop tasing us, sir. Stop tasing us, sir. Please stop tasing us.
No, let me go before you break my arm.
Y'all, join my life. Sure. See you, sure, my life. Let my son go,
Go.
sir.
Out. No. Let me go, sir. No.
You muted, Tarka.
This is very disturbing to anybody in the chat. This is really, really disturbing. Did they order you out the car? Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm the toughest gorilla in the jungle. But I steps out the car. Did they order you out the car, sis?
Actually, he was by himself at the time, and when I stepped out, and after he did the sobriety test, because he said he smelled marijuana,
Yeah,
and when I
did,
passed
that's
it,
right.
yeah, and when I passed it, and he was looking both ways, make sure the traffic was clear before he reacted like he did. And that's when we start shielding ourselves. When my son tried to help me up off the ground, and he started beating my son, and we was refusing to. We drug ourselves back to the car, and we was refusing to get out because we was just in fear of our life. Now we didn't know if he was going to kill us out there. We didn't know because he was already so worked up and aggressive. So we didn't know.
Man, wow. Yeah, this is real disturbing. I'm gonna let it play.
Y'all, he's breaking. Y'all, we need help. We need help. We need help. We need help. Y'all, stop. No. Stop. No. Y'all, this is a robot. Y'all, this man is hurting my son. Y'all,
He's trying to drive his whipping.
we on Highway 55.
He's trying to drive.
We on Highway 55. Yes.
Somebody call help.
We need help. We need help, y'all. We on Highway 55. This sheriff is tasing us. He's fighting us, y'all. He's trying to take my son out the car. Yes, I don't know his name. I don't know his name. No.
Be quiet and just sit down.
Sit down, baby.
Sit down, AJ.
No.
Sit down. Get out of the car.
No. Y'all, I don't know his name, y'all. He won't tell us his name.
Sis, just to be, sis, with them babies in there and that European right there, that slave owner European, you suppose that got out that car. Because there is no real win. You got to live to fight another day. You know what I'm saying? That's a traumatic situation for the baby and everyone involved, I would think, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that had to happen. It didn't have to happen. I'm sorry that happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm lost for words. I'm just lost for words because, man, I just couldn't imagine that type of confusion around my baby.
Yeah, that was my grandbaby as well.
Yeah,
That was
I
my
just couldn't
grandbaby.
imagine that type of confusion. There's nowhere in the world that I could digest that type of confusion. Do you know what I
I
mean?
mean, if he wasn't so aggressive already fighting us, because he slammed me on the ground just for trying to tell my son to call my dad. He slammed me on the ground, and that's right then I knew that any child would do what my son did. He was just trying to help his mom up off the ground, and he was just telling the officer, "Hey, you don't have to do that." So I mean, at that moment of time, all I was thinking was, this is going to happen. This is a moment where we're going to lose our life. At least I can try to do what I can do as a mother.
And you are a member of the Black Panther Party. At this time, when that
Yes,
happens,
I'm curious.
where the
Hmm.
comrades at?
During that time, like I said, it was a split between with us here in the city of Memphis. I just felt like I was already all alone because no one didn't want to stand with me with my kid situation. So no one even cared here to reach out to me about that situation either. So, of course, when it comes down to I've been speaking it as a Panther, as a organization, as a chapter, even here, regardless of how I was feeling about them not standing for my kids, this is something as well that I felt that it should have been reached out to me, but it wasn't nothing done, said nothing. It was just nothing.
How do you think? How you think this is this the end? How do you think this is going to end? You know what I mean? Like, what type
Well,
of resolution are you looking for? Do you have any
well, right.
What's the youngest baby that you have that's outside of your custody right now?
That's my grandbaby. I don't have custody. He lives with his
No,
mom.
not the
He just
grandbaby. I'm
comes.
talking about that the police, or the officials, authorities took from you. What's the youngest?
The youngest, she at the time was 11, but she'll be 14 in September now.
So have you spoke with her?
Yeah, I always speak to her. Actually, she's resigned. I'm not gonna say it on live, but she's resigned with family member.
Oh, good,
And they
good.
make sure
That's
she
good.
contacts me on a basis because when they took, I was more agitated about her, so I kept going inconsistent. Me and this other sister about her because at the time my baby girl, and she was going on 12, and these are pedophiles out here, y'all, placing these children in these homes. So when they took her from me, they called her dad from Mississippi, and he comes to Memphis. Of course, he wanted to get off child support at the time, and he knows that I took care of my kids and his, I had 11 kids in the home with me. And so he lied to them and said that I took my baby and I supposed to been taking her to a water park, and that was a lie. But right then and there, juvenile court didn't do no background check on him, how he lives down in Mississippi, none of that, like they did my dad. So they didn't do any of that nature. So when they instantly gave her to her dad that day, he gets killed 3 days later after that down in Mississippi. So it was more of a back and forth retaliation that was going on. He got killed. They killed the people who killed him. The people who did that, they shooting people. Now they looking for his mom. So when they did that, I went to Mississippi. Yes, yes,
Woo,
yes.
that's a bunch.
So yes, so I went to Mississippi to get my baby after he got killed. And that's when the DCS worker lady found out that my baby is back with me. And they was like, oh, you got to surrender her. I was like, no, I'm not. This is my baby. And she. And so what they did was at that time, my own family told the police where I was. So I was in an altercation also with 3 Memphis police officers, 3 men. They jumped on me in front of the rumor house that I ended up moving to away from my dad. So I was out there fighting 3 big police officers just to not get arrested, for them not to take my baby, because I was told that I might as well come outside. My godmom said, you might as well come outside. That police just slammed your baby in the car. And I was like, what? And so Memphis police is now, yes. So when I got outside, now all 3 of these men, no female officer, it was one out there, but she just stood back and watched. They start snatching me, trying to run up on me. So I was trying to push them, and I was like, no, let her arrest me. Let the female officer arrest me. and they wouldn't do that. So those men had beat me, and again, the same shoulder. It was in doing that altercation, and they end up taking my baby, putting her in custody, and they put me in custody as well. So when I went to court, the judge said, "Well, we have a daughter now, so y'all can release her." So when they let me out, some kind of way they got up with my daughter grandmother, which is her father mom, and it wasn't no background check or nothing done on that lady, and they didn't even know the history that she is actually a target too, because these people who killed the people riding with her son killed their family member. They want her, and juvenile court didn't know anything of that nature. And so I was trying to call the DCS, and I was letting them know, y'all putting my baby life in danger. But instead, they gave my baby to her grandmother, and yeah, her grandmother couldn't deal with her attitude. Long story short, she called me, I want to say last year, and said, well, she can't stay with me. She got a nasty attitude. Now, this is my 13-year-old baby that you can't control your own grandbaby. She only did it for the money. And so she said she didn't want to call DCS because she didn't want my baby back in custody, because she know I was a mother before anything. So I called someone to go pick my baby up, and that's where my baby been all this time, and actually been bouncing around now just to keep from getting into the custody of them, because it's all wrong. It's all wrong. And so her and the grandmother and the DCS lady came to conclusion, because the grandmother didn't want to get arrested for neglect. So the DCS worker within her talked and said, well, we're going to say that she ran away. So yes, juvenile court alerted Fox 13, and Fox 13 has my baby face all on the news as a runaway endangered 13-year-old. So I've been dealing with so much.
When do you? I'm lost for words, because it's like it seems there's one thing after another, after another, after another.
Right. And no one has helped. No one has reached out. No one has. Oh, I'm holding back the tears because I want to be strong. Everybody says you got to be strong, but it's like it's never gonna end.
So
Yeah.
Do you have any confidence whatsoever that somebody like Malik could help you? Do you think that he could help you?
The only confidence I have right now, I'll say is you have done much more, and I'm very well thankful to be here on your show. You have done so much more than anybody done. You and a sister out of Chicago have done so much more than the own organization I'm a part of. And I will honestly say I thank you guys very much. Because by me talking to you all, and you know people, and people watches you all show, so I feel like this is my little hope, that to tell the world what's going on here in the city of Memphis, the racist county of South Haven, and what's going on around the world, and also to be the voice of many people who doesn't even have this opportunity.
Do you even have like so when I'm facing difficulties or something, I always think of some sort of roadmap out of it. Have you wrapped your mind around some sort of resolve to to that light at the end of the tunnel? Do you because this is a lot for me I'm just hearing it for the first time, so it's a lot for me, and you had time to really to ponder upon it since 2019, and we're in 2022. Have you kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel?
The only light that I see at the end of the tunnel, and everybody keeps telling me, oh, you got to be here for your kids right now, it's freedom of death with me. I don't fear death. I'm ready for whatever to come. I'm ready to go toe to toe with any police that pull me over. I'm just ready, because I don't speed. I do as I'm told. I goes to work and back home. I'm a mother. I'm working.
Let me say this. Let me say this, sis. Let me just say this real quick. When you say things like that, the energy is actually inviting these Europeans, because they're watching too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the catchphrase in the Black Power struggle with these illegitimate leaders, and not speaking about the legitimate ones, that they quote these catchphrases and then they bring this drama to the people, and they go home in their nice size home and kick their feet up and watch it on Fox News. And so what I wanted to say to you is that freedom or death, it should always start with moving intelligently to free yourself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it should always be freedom and life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like most people say, I would die for something. I always say, I'm gonna live for this. You know what I mean? I die for my people. I'm gonna live for my people.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
so I think we need to be rewired a little bit. I mean, that's just how I move.
I mean,
believe
I
in
have
life.
that too. I
I
have
believe
that
in life,
too
not
in me.
death. But let me say this. This is going to be a series called Surviving NBPP. I just threw that together while we was talking. So what I'm saying is the roadmap out of this would not be the typical freedom or death. The roadmap out of this is freedom and life. Now, how do you walk from this point into life as well as freedom? That's the roadmap that need to be charted, because freedom or death is an ambiguous slogan. What does that mean? I mean, give me freedom or kill me. Like, no, we ain't doing that. That's that European stuff. I mean, you know that's a European saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
That came from Europeans. Give me freedom or death. No, we want freedom and life.
Correct. You're right.
So that's what I think need to be worked on. I don't know how I can assist, but it's got to be a Black Panther out here that know law. It got to be one out here that know how to navigate through the system. So you're saying that you need to open up a case to address it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What happened? Did you ever have a court hearing of the situation? Because don't you have to go to court for this to happen, for them to go full force? Did they strip you of custody?
It's like right when they knew that I was gonna fight for my kids, and right when I kept coming to them about why are y'all taking my kids, like y'all don't have no reason. So they basically tried to hurry up. At first they came to me to see will I give up my parental rights, and I was like, no, I'm their mother, no. And so after that, it's just they just instantly took them out my custody. It wasn't no we're gonna prove that she is neglected, we're gonna prove this and that. They haven't proven anything.
But what I'm saying is, did you have any court hearings that you missed, or did they say you missed any court hearings?
No,
Because
I haven't missed.
Only thing I'm saying is that normally they give you some. Okay, initially they will take the children and put them in temporary housing with a family, whatever. But what I mean with a family, a temporary adopted family, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
While they sort things out. I'm saying they didn't never give you a court case. You didn't go and sit down with nobody. I mean, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't sit down with somebody and say, this is the reason, this is the conclusion that we came to. Here's why.
Yes. Well, I did, but the guy, the so-called attorney that was for my kids, and the attorney that was supposed to be for me, that was appointed for me, all both of them was doing was just saying that, oh, I'm just a neglected mom. Just saying that, oh, you have to do parenting, you have to do this, and you have to do that. And the guardian ad litem, my first court appearance after they took my kids, it wasn't even no evidence. It wasn't nothing. He just stood up in court and said, well, I think the kids should be placed in DCS custody. It wasn't no reason why. Nothing.
But you just mentioned that they said that you had to do A, B, C, and D. Did you even attempt to do any of these things?
I didn't, because I felt that all of that was wrong.
But the thing is, you gotta live the fight. Sometimes you gotta play the game to get ahead and then keep it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
You get like the thing is that if you don't complete the things that they assign to you, it doesn't make you weak. You got to do what you got to do to get them babies, because now the babies are trapped with these Europeans. And what I mean with
Yeah.
the Europeans, with this system,
Right. I mean,
you
I mean,
gotta play
I
the
can blame
game.
myself. I can blame myself for that. I just felt that I shouldn't have to, because I wanted them to prove them first wrong and stuff like that. So, and the judge know that I wasn't going to stop fighting. The judge personally called my daughter and said that, well, all you have to do is tell your mom. We wrote her down as if she took the parents, and we just wanted her to take anger management. So, and I was like, why? Any mother would be angry up to what happened, So, and I said, well, if they wasn't wrong, why would she write me as if I took parents? And they just covering up, just
But
keep
but
trying to
but
cover up.
but that's fine though. Sometimes and I don't like to use this term. Sometimes you got to lose to win. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is no example, so please don't take this like that. But this is no example. But the principle is the same. I get a lot of attacks on social media. You know what I'm saying? I see them.
Mm-hmm.
People send them to me all the time. You know what I mean? The Morris World TV citizens, they really good with that. Every time somebody posts something, everybody talk crazy. I get them all the time. Some stuff I just take the L, if that's what you call it, in order to get the win. You know what I'm saying? I ignore it. I don't let my ego get involved. I just take the L. Recently, I was not recently, 2016, I punched somebody in the mouth, you know what I mean, for calling a sister a B. And from that, they gave me and the guy was wrong. He came up on me, they got him on camera, everything, approaching me and everything, and I just bang him and laid him out. You know what I'm saying? Now I would do it different this day, but what happened is when I get to court, because I have a criminal record from back in the day over 20, 30 years ago, when I get to court, they say you're going to have to take some community service. I ain't argue with it, man. Where the broom at? You know what I mean? At this, I'm a full grown man. I mean, I got responsibilities. I got children. Man, where your broom at? What else you got? Got some trash bags? And so I'm just saying this to people who listen, not to you per se, but sometimes we got to take the L to get the W. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, once that decree is made, it's hard to turn back. It's hard to turn back because the European has designed the system for them to know the loopholes, but designed the system to keep us entrapped. That's how it's designed. That's how it's designed. And unless you know somebody that knows somebody, that's an uphill battle. That's a really, really uphill battle. The first thing that as you said, an attorney. You definitely gonna need an attorney. Let me ask you this, if you don't mind me asking. You don't have to answer if you don't want. What is your living situation like? Are you in a position to rear the children? Like what you got the 14-year-old and who else? Another one under 18?
Yeah, he would be 17 in October.
Okay, so you got the 14-year-old and the 17. Do you think that the 17-year-old, you speak with him?
I finally talked to him last month. Finally,
Okay.
for the first time.
And how he's doing?
He's doing okay. He's doing a lot better. A bit of brainwashed a little bit, I can say, but he wants to see me.
What's crazy to me? Me being from I guess you would call this up north. I always, you know what I mean, because we got hoods here, we got projects, we got all of this stuff going on, you know what I mean? I always thought the South, although I knew that it was a lot of racial overtone, a lot of racial tension and all that, I never imagined that these types of things go on like that. We have some of these things here in Baltimore, you know what I mean, quite naturally. You know what I mean, we're in a tight-knit city. But the South is gone nuts. Wow. This is So what would your first step would be? So say for instance, the audience, the friends and the Morris World TV citizens that they show you some support. What would your first step be?
My first step is at least like I've been working hard trying to maintain. Actually, I bought a house and I'm trying to get it together at the same time, trying to save some money to get an attorney. But now I have to get an attorney for my kids and for this situation, for the police situation. So it's kind of hard because I have to have gas to get back and forth to work and stuff like that. But the first step that I know I must need to start off again is to obtain an attorney and some at least some legal advice on helping me with a certain situation. Like I've never had no one to just actually sit down and teach me the ropes to all of this, but my grandfather, and my grandfather passed in 2004. So and when I grew on up as a young woman to a full woman I am now, so of course it's just like a lot of young girls out here now with no guidance. So I had to basically teach myself, like I'm now working on myself and learning how to be humble. I'm working on myself to learning how to be calm and be patient. So I really do have faith that in the end there is victory, but I want to obtain a lawyer, and I don't mind seeking some counseling for me, for like someone that can talk to me, that can help me with my emotional state, or because certain things now it's putting me like it's kind of triggering like a mental stage, and that mental stage is like I be want to break down sometimes because I miss my kids all together when I used to keep them all together, and then I be want to break down because I'm in the process of the home that I just bought, and I'm going paycheck to paycheck, trying to get it fixed up, and just so my kids can fully have a stable place, because the gentrification is real here and pretty much everywhere, but it's real here. And I chose to buy a home to fix up because everything else was out of my league. I couldn't afford it. And so, and I know that once that home is fully available and livable, I would never have that problem with a DCS worker again. So that's been my biggest steps. So I've been just trying to maintain a job, but now my vehicle is is messing up. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't get to work. Like how now I got to have a lawyer by next month because they really ready to lock me up in South Haven, all because of I'm talking about this.
What they're gonna lock you up?
Yes, the judge threatened to lock me up my last court date because the police came forward and told the judge that my video has circulated Facebook and I post on social media. And he said if I say anything else about this case, he would have me in contempt of court. So I possibility will be in jail next month, hopefully. I pray not, but he was sincere about it.
You said hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, because I mean, they're gonna do what they want to do, like you say. You know, these Europeans, these racists, whatever, they're gonna do what they want to do. And so, and then if I don't have any support, no one there with me, I'm going in the slammer. I'm just, it's that's how it is because they look at us like, oh, she don't have no support, no one is there, because no one wasn't there for me and my son when we went to court the first 2 times. So. And I don't have, like now I got to struggle to get some money for the lawyer for me and him, and so it's like I'm just.
Whatever happened to your son from that incident that we just seen?
Well, he's doing fine. He's doing a lot better now. They had beat him into a asthma attack. He passed out after that. So because he suffered with asthma his entire life. But he's doing a lot better. He's working. And I told him just try to save up some money to help out with a lawyer too as well. So he's been working his little job. And he was like, Mama, we're going to try to do what we can because he know all of this is wrong.
Let me go back just a little bit. Sis, if you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to go into it if you don't, what is your life journey like? What brings you, if you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 38.
You're 38. Where brings you from say back as a youth to 38? What is? I mean, you don't got to go into great detail, but I'm just trying to get some understanding how, like for me, right? Fortunately, I had the ability to turn some things around in my life. You know what I'm saying? I had the ability to have some crazy experiences, but I was able to flip them into positives. Um, and when and all the time I review my life over and over, I'm amazed that I'm sitting here talking to you. I never thought that I would be in a position where I can influence people, where I can help people, where I never knew what I was going to do in life. You know what I mean? And I'm still enjoying the journey as I rediscover life every day. But I know how I got here too. And it came from a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, and a lot of bad choices or wrong choices. But I'm here now and I'm feeling good. Life is a beautiful thing. What brought you to this stage where you're at from growing up until now? How do a Sister Pearl be the summation of what we see today?
What brought me here, like I said, I was raised by my grandfather. He used to tell me, Pearl, it's gonna be another war. I hope I don't live to see it. So not once in a million years growing up in North Memphis, because life was great when we were coming up. Things were cheaper, gas was cheaper. It wasn't a lot of violence, a lot of killing. It wasn't hardly none of that. So, but growing up, when I started having kids, and when I started having kids by the wrong person, I was wrongfully arrested at 19 by Memphis police by my kid's father. He punched the headlights on my car and he lied to the police, said I cut him. But after he took off running because he was going to go to jail for vandalism. But I started like, okay, when they said that they was going to lock me up, it was all wrongfully. And I had witnesses. My sister was like, no, she didn't have a butcher knife. No, it would have been more than a little prick on his thumb. So, and I started studying life then. I started saying, okay, now I got out. I've been locked up wrongfully. I had to do 3 weeks of community service wrongfully. I was placed on 11 months and 29 days of diversion wrongfully. So after that, I just kept studying. Then my daughter, when she turned 5 years old, my oldest, she would go to school. She was one of those little smart kids, little head shaking, and you ain't my mama, you can't. Was one of those. So during that time, she was born in the year of 99. And the year of 2000, everybody was scared, saying the world was going to change. Everybody was going to die in 2000. But it didn't happen like everybody thought. The changes were, I saw it before my own eyes. So that's when they said that, that's when Memphis, before my own eyes, started changing. By me have this child, now she's going on up in 3rd and 4th grade. And she was talking smart, and they started saying we couldn't discipline our kids. So they took the paddling, the corporate punishment, and they took the praying out of school. And I started seeing the kids starting to get corrupt because they were getting used to, oh, my mom can't, if you put your hand on me, I'm gonna call the police. So I started seeing that changes. And when I started seeing that changes, and I was like, you know what, I gotta get out of Memphis. I want to raise my kids better. I want to be able to discipline my kids. But the many years I was away, I still would come home to my city. I started seeing that they have tore down a building that was by juvenile court. I didn't know what they was going to do then, but I started seeing the changes. And then I kept coming, and I started seeing so many kids starting to just out of control here in the city. And I was like, wow. And I was like, I want to be able to help these kids. I want to talk to these kids. And speed on up a little bit more, I ended up had to move back to the city. And when I moved back here years after my leaving, when I moved back here, my first time ever seeing a child homeless, this little boy was 13 years old. And I couldn't believe it because there were no homeless kids in the city when I left. So, and that plays a part in the parents come with their child. So they like, fuck them kids, them, get up out my house. And so that is something that I started learning, that the system is now they can use that against the parents, even though if they discipline, they go to jail. So with that child being homeless and stuff, I said, I'm just going to start helping. So I started helping kids. I started giving them money, helping them, telling them, hey, come with me to cut grass and stuff like that, make a little money. And then when I started doing all of that, I just, like I say, these wrongfully arrests, the targeting when my kids got taken, and
Keep
on
talking.
up to now that,
My dog just barked. 1 second. I'm listening though.
okay, yeah, and then all this stuff started happening to me. So I'm like, now somebody got to stand up and do something or say something. Everybody shouldn't be scared or shouldn't be silent. So, but they kept trying to silence me, is things back to back of that nature. And then now it's to the point now what is making me even stronger. Sometimes I fall weak, but I try to stay stronger. It making me even stronger because to know that I'm not by myself in this situation. And the only positive outcome is just to keep fighting. It's to, like, far as keep helping, keep doing what Allah wants me to do. That means loving the people, being there for the people, helping the people. But my biggest fallout and beat myself up is what is the people doing for me. But I'm not complaining to anybody. I'm not beating nobody up about it. But that's like a big question. Like, I have helped so many people. So many people have stayed with me, family and all. And now I'm in this situation. It's like now I'm by myself. So that what led me to this situation of being, for me to just keep studying life, keep studying the system, keep studying how we are being systemized, targeted about a system that does not want us to have anything, just want to keep us down in many different ways. So
Sis,
that's part of
before you went to before you went to before you went on that maneuver with the Black Panther Party, had you experienced any other encounters concerning your children with the authorities?
no, I haven't had any problem
That was the
at that
first
point.
time.
No. Yes.
That's crazy. I mean, you ain't had no contact whatsoever with the authorities until you went on that maneuver with the Black Panther. You don't think there's a connection there? Could it be a
Yes.
connection?
Yes. Yes. I do. Because it's all a part of the
Because
separation to keep.
normally when it goes to that level, there's a buildup. You know what I'm saying? When you
Mhm.
see, so for instance, um, because I work in the hood, home improvement, property management, whatever the case may be. I've seen all sorts of situations, but there's always in Baltimore, there's always a buildup. And one thing about DSS here, they do try, for all intents and purposes, to keep the children in the home. You know what I mean? They try. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now some situations are like yours, but majority of the time, they're trying to find someone in the family. They're trying to find
Yes.
a situation that can be worked with in the parents' home, so they can
Right.
keep the children with the parent. Um, you don't think that you can present um, some type of plan so you can have your children return to you?
Yes.
It
I mean,
seems
like,
like they offered you one. I mean, to be quite honest, they
yeah.
kind of offered you one. They offered you
Yeah.
one, and you went hard. You went
Yeah.
hard.
Because I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, as a mother would, all I could think about, like I said, I was raised up on my history. That's when the schools taught real history. My grandfather, his situation. So a lot of that grew anger in me. And so I was basically almost like, oh my, y'all took my kids. I'm just ready for whatever. But I have to, a lot, I mean, I have had people reached out to me, talk to me, that kind of calmed me down a lot about it. But I could have, and right to this day now, if I could still do it, more likely I could, I would take the parenting. But like I said, my biggest question is, I feel that why should I need parenting? I have 5 grown kids.
You might don't need it, but that's what you need to satisfy to have your children with you. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
you're right.
It's really not about you learning something that you may need as a parent. Because if you say, I got it, I got it. But if that's what you need to do to bring them babies away from strangers, then you got to do what you
Hmm.
got to do.
Right. But like you said now, at one point in time, they would make sure, because don't get me wrong, way before I left the city of Memphis, I have had haters call DCS once before when I first
Right.
moved into my first apartment, when I had 5 children and I was 18 at the time. And when DCS did come out there, they seen that at that time I didn't have any furniture and stuff like that. So they gave me a week to get furniture. And then I was like, no, y'all, I just moved. I'm young. I mean, I'm still building. Yeah, at least give me 30 days. So they did give me 30 days. It wasn't like, oh, we just finna take the kids. They did give me that. So the difference in between then and now, they didn't give me anything. They didn't talk to me. They didn't even do a home study. They didn't do none of that. They just took my kid. They locked me up and just took my kids. They took my kids' freedom from them to even speak, to even testify on the behalf of their mom, which is they were big enough. They didn't. They took my freedom of speech every time I would try to speak up to the judge. He was threatening to lock me back. Well, no, it was a she. The first judge was threatening to lock me up. So when he kept seeing that my case that was all wrong, and that at that time, like I said, the other Panther sister was with me, and we was kind of drawing awareness. I had a petition going around. I had got over 300 signatures. That judge, he must have stepped down or resigned or something. So it turns to a female judge. And when I tried to talk to her, it's shut up, Miss Richmond, before I lock you up. So I had to be straight silent. So they took all of that away from me instantly.
But
It
even,
wasn't.
but even with that, and that was dealing with this situation right here.
Hmm.
But even with that, you suppose that your leader of your organization is a certified attorney. He should have gave you advice.
Um.
I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
in a responsible manner, in a perfect world, your leader. Did you pay dues?
Uh huh.
You pay dues. Like many people are going to be hard on you, but I'm saying that when you're in an organization, you're in the protection of that organization, and you are in an organization who happen to have a leader who's an attorney. This attorney was supposed to advise you, chill out, no, do this, do
I
that.
mean, yes,
Calm
and
down,
maybe in
go.
the right, maybe in the beginning I would have been piped all the way down, and because I'm getting advice from, because I didn't, like I said, this is my first big scene about my kids being taken away. So as an attorney, or even though if you're not able to practice here, so I heard this is not your jurisdiction or whatever, reach out and be like, hey, I can get someone to talk to you or stuff like that. But, I didn't get any of that. So I was basically going off my own belief.
Yeah,
And I know a lot of
I'm
my
just
belief
saying
was
with
out of
me,
anger.
if a member of the Morris Science Temple of America find themselves in a compromising situation with authorities, personal, whatever, I'm gonna make sure that I do whatever I can as their leader, as their friend, as their brother or sister. That's a sister of mine. I'm gonna do everything that I can do to make sure I help alleviate that problem. Now, if you want to go gun ho ratchet and lose your mind, then you're on your own. But I'm definitely going to try to make sure that we can resolve this and have those babies back home where they're supposed to be. What do you think they did with your paperwork when you sent it to Malik?
I have no idea. I have no
That's
idea.
pretty strange that you would send somebody all your paperwork.
And
What could be in the
and
paperwork that makes somebody do like this?
that
Oh
what
no, we ain't
drew
touching that. Was
that
it
what drew a little anger in me, because I was starting to fault myself. Like I trusted, and these are some real documents, and I trusted them. So, like I said, my paperwork could have got in the hands of any authorities. I don't know where they are, but I trust the organization. I trust the leader of it or the attorney of it. And now I don't know. I lost all trust. So that's why I go on. If I'm doing maneuver, I'm basically solo, or I'm basically linking up with just other real Panthers or real people that's on their own. Now I don't have a leader. I mean, I do, but I don't, so if you understand where I'm coming from. So like I'm my own leader now because I'm training myself to be disciplined. I'm training myself to be more humble and I read now. I read more, I study more, so
With
it's a lot.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I am really in loss. I'm in awe that that I think a lot of people may try to get on you about some of the decisions that you have made concerning this. But one of my main concerns is why wouldn't a certified attorney in an organization at least reach out at minimum? You ain't got to take it, but at least reach out. You know what I mean? And at least say, you know what, sis, we're not going to be able to do this X, Y, Z. But you gets nothing. You gets nothing.
Nothing.
What about your comrades? Do you have any of the comrades that was your day one comrades from the new Black Panther Party? Do you have any?
I only deal with one, and we getting back close how we were. Like I said, it was a split within multiple chapters, and multiple things went on. And she decided to stay as being more active with this chapter, and I decided to just say, "Hey, I backed a little bit because I wasn't getting no help." So, but me and her, we still talk. We still talk. She's still there for me now, right to this day.
And out of all them people, you just got one sister that's rocking with
Just one.
you. That's not good, sis. That's not good. Where do we go from here, sis?
I want to know. That's my big question. This is a very big question. I do want to know, like, when is it gonna end? We talk unity, but where is it? We talk black love, black power, but where is it? So that's a big question that always been in my mind because I know I'm not out here for no damn cameras. I'm not out here for no pictures. I see so many of our people out here suffering. So many of our people going through the same situation that I'm going through. So many people have been beaten and everything because I still get out. I still reach out to people. People still reach out to me. I have multiple people reach out from seeing my video and say, I was being a victim of the same these officers. So and now I just encourage them to like, hey, be patient, read more, study laws, just stay in contact with me if just in case because some people are afraid to stand up. Some people just don't want to be involved, even though they're going through the same situation. So my big question is because I know I can't change the world by myself. I know I can't change a city by myself. So my big question to the world, to all these organizations, like, where do we go from here? Because it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop.
What do you think? What do you think the answer is?
The answer,
outside of what you're facing, what do you think the answer is?
the answer is like where we go from here. I say we have to start first of all being in communication. We have to stop all the grandstanding. We have to stop all the jealousy. Stop all the fighting for positions. Stop all. I mean, it's just a lot. Once we eliminate all of that, even though I know it's gonna be hard, I know it's gonna be hard, but we can make some type of conclusion to come from afterwards. So I say on my behalf, like I say, I'm being more in control of my discipline action now, and I do want to reach out to someone that can sit there and talk to me, far as counseling or something like that, because I wouldn't mind that extra help. Any words of encouragement is enough. That's like more than a blank minded. So if you don't say anything, a person won't never know nothing. So I say communication and unity is a big key to life.
Wow. So family, man, if y'all heard this story from the beginning, one of the most disturbing part definitely was that video. The highlight of the disturbing is that you don't have your children, you know. And I think we need to I think we need to revisit this. You know, I hope those will come through and maybe reach out to you. Do you have an email?
Yes, I do. If you want to reach out to me by email, it's Miss MS Self SELF Made MADE the number 580 @gmail.com.
All right.
I would love any support. If you just want to give me some words of advice, I'm very open. I'm working on this discipline, and I think I've came a long way since the beginning. I have.
Yeah. And okay, I got that in there. And her cash app is at the bottom of this. As she said, she was trying to get herself some attorney some representation. I'm just man, I'm just blown away to see that baby crying in that car. You know, that was much for me. You know, I got a 3-year-old. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine that European all over my 3-year-old like that. I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine. So the thing is that so if you're watching this family, you know, whenever you up against these authorities, live to fight another day. You know what I mean? Because that could be your last day. You know, you haven't even you can't regroup. You can't put a team together. You can't deal with it legally, lawfully. You know, I mean, like it's just something else. So family, this is, and like everybody says, where's Malik? This is our episode, Surviving New Black Panther Party. This is one of our episodes here. I was throwing this together while you see me work. I'll be throwing it together while we be talking because it comes to mind that even tomorrow I got a brother that will be on the show who also has his story surviving New Black Panther, and his story is slightly different. But this is the crazy thing about it, family. The crazy thing about this is that everyone has a unique story that's traumatic, stressful, not uplifting. I have yet to hear one story, except for from my brother, Desert Eagle. He said, "Well, the good thing is we coming together." And I said to him, "To do what?"
Good question.
But Desert Eagle say that the good thing about it is that people come together. But then my response is, for what? Shout out to Desert Eagle. You know, shout out to Desert Eagle. Well, sis, anything you want to say in closing? We've been here for 2 hours. I definitely appreciate you. All the information that sister has provided me, cash app or email will be in the comment section. Actually, it should be in the comment section right now. But I will have to add the email and any additional information, and we'll follow up with sis maybe next week and have a panel. I like to have her, my sister Demetria, sister Cece, and a few other sisters to come on here and follow up and see how we can help. Because the only time, you know how we do when we want to get some help for somebody, we gotta stay in your face. We gotta stay in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what we'll do. I'll reach out to Sister Demetria. I'll reach out to Sister Cece and see if we can create a panel to have this discussion. Because one of the most important things that has to be done, one of the most important things that has to be done is like Goldie say. First, we got to get rid of the pimps and the pushers. And then we got to start all over. But you're always going to have that one say, "You crazy." Anybody remember that? You know, that's what has to happen in these religious organizations, these freedom fighting organizations. First, we got to get rid of the pimps and the pushers. And then we got to start all over. And so this show, and I thank you for giving us your time as well as your experience, because this gets rid of the pimps and the pushers. Whether people disagree with how you move, whether people accept how you responded or not, your leadership should be the one to help mold you, guide you, and at the very least, make sure that you're okay. At the very least, minimum, to make sure you're okay. I don't care how reckless someone is. I don't care how irresponsible one may seem. At the very least, when you are in an organization that's predicated upon the social advancement of a people, you know what I'm saying? A leadership should, at minimum, check on you. Karen, that said leadership are not therapists. No, but her leadership is an attorney, and she's in legal trouble. That's the difference. And when and that's our problem, Sister Karen S., that we don't hold our organizations accountable. This is an organization predicated upon lifting the iron hand of oppression off of our neck. We are a sick people. And we're being oppressed by even sicker people. So at very minimum, I'm gonna answer all Karen. I like Karen S. Karen S said, did he direct her to complete DCP services? Nope. He never reached out to her at all. That's the point that I'm making, Karen S. He never, according to her, he never reached out to her at all. That's the point. What she did, she has to eat that and be held accountable to that and have to come with that. But the moment that you are in an organization, especially an organization, this is not the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts. This is an organization predicated upon the social advancement as well as lifting the iron hand of oppression off of our people. And she don't even get a call, according to her now. According to her. Because Malik might say otherwise, but she don't get a call. That's all I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Again. But she knew she had to complete the service. She has to be held accountable. I said, I don't think you heard me. You know what I mean? I don't think you heard me, Sister Karen. What I said is she has to eat and take responsibility for what she did. But at the same time, when you are in an organization that is predicated upon social advancement and lifting the hand of oppression off of a people, and your member says, have evidence, and send you paperwork of suspected oppression, the organization is supposed to respond. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, and I think from my perspective as a leader, with nobody responding to her, you're not a leader at all. At least respond and say, no, I'm not touching this. At least respond and say, sis, you nutty as 13 fruitcakes. Go get yourself some help. Bye. Say something. That's all I'm saying, family. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to be Sister Pearl attorney. I'm not here to be, all I just want to do is get the word out that the new Black Panther Party under the leadership of Malik Zulu Shabbaz is not a reasonable path for liberation. It's just not a reasonable path for liberation, nor is it a reasonable path to think that you're going to lift the iron hand of oppression off our people. But I appreciate you, sis. Again, thank you for your time. And hopefully next week we can all get together and do a panel. I hope you make yourself available because these stories need to be heard, and these stories need to be get to the public and let the public know what goes on in these organizations that claim that they're going to deliver our people from the European, and yet they won't even deliver their own member from the European. So
I thank you for having me on your show.
Anything you want to say in closing?
I want to say I thank you, Taka, for having me on your show. I thank the listeners, whether it's good or bad comments behind it. Like I said, I have done went through the words, so I could care less about anything negative. I done beat myself up enough about what I should have done. So I just thank you all. Share the video. And don't talk so bad about me because I always use this sign. You won't never know something, or you won't think that you will ever go through this or something like that until it happens in your family or your home. So I want to say we as the people got to stop backlashing each other. You know, everybody makes mistakes at some point. So I do want to say that I thank you all for listening. If you all want to support me any kind of way, it would be great. It would be mindful. And I'll be grateful, thankful for that. Um, um, like I said, I will just continue standing strong and just, just continue just being here. And like I said, I thank Taharka. I want to thank the sister out of Chicago. Um, I want to send my supports and shouts out to the queen that's in Oklahoma that's been fighting. She inspired me so much more not to give up a fight. So I want to say I thank that mother queen as well. I want to thank all the ones who have reached out to me, who have talked to me, who have coached me along the way for me to be in a disciplinary moment. I want to say I thank you all because you all made a big impact of my life. Um, and I just love you all. Thank you for having me, Taharka.
Thank you,
And
sis.
for
Thank
bringing
you,
that
sis.
truth, bro, because some stuff has to be said, honestly.
Absolutely. And thank you again, sis. So, family, that's our sister Pearl. And we're going to reach out to her next week with sisters that's been on the show and see what we can come up with. See what looking at. And sis, I would implore you to see what path that you're going to take. And maybe we can maybe expound on that a little more. You know, I know you said you're going to get an attorney, but you ever thought about, as I said, see if you can present present the people with, listen, I'm ready to do this, and I need my children back, and I'm ready to do this. Something like that. I don't know. I don't, because I'm not in Memphis, and that's why I always think Malik is a fraud anyway, because he always go into these towns where he's not that familiar with the local jurisdiction and all that, but he always saying he taking somebody's case, and he never take nobody's case. He never does it. So I don't know, sis. See what you can do. Come back, and then we're gonna see what it looks like. All right.
All right.
All right.
I'll
Thank
keep
you,
in
sis. I
touch.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
With that being said, family, that's another one for the night, man. I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. But let me ask you before y'all go, family. So listen, brother been reaching out to me all day. All day. Is attorney Rico Dukes? Is he attorney? Is he an attorney? Is Rico Dukes an attorney? Now, he says that he can prove that he's an attorney. And I told him that I will debate him, but it depends on what y'all say. That I will prove that he's not an attorney. And I will prove emphatically. I will improve emphatically. And he said he wants to debate me. But now here we go. It won't be a shouting match. It will be a debate with a moderator. You know, he'll get to say his stuff. I'll get to say mine. Keisha say, just leave it alone. Poor Tink Tink. Just leave it alone. Grip said, just leave it alone. But what I am going to do is I'm going to upload the video that I clipped from the show last night. Due to the fact that the show was talking about the new Black Panther Party, and then we got into this legal conversation and and in his mind he believed that he beat the argument about a case or something like that, but I didn't even want to connect it to that. But I'm about to upload it in a minute and let people enjoy it, and you can leave your comment on that video. It's the same video from last night. I just clipped it, and I'm going to upload it momentarily. But with that being said, family, poop is white when it's dead and dry. not like that. Let me thank everybody who's in the chat. Handsome Beats, Augustus. Man, let me thank you, man. Y'all some raw audience, man. Listen, one thing for sure, man, I'm glad I am friends with Cryptonomics. Cryptonomics have Cryptonomics and Handsome Beats, Augustus, Kern S. Man, y'all. Good. And quite a few of y'all in here. I couldn't catch it all because I was listening. I was doing stuff behind the scenes. But I'm telling y'all, man, King Moab, he like me. He like me with Dr. Collins said. He said he correct with an armed fist with a velvet glove. But good goodness, Cryptonomics and Handsome Beats, they take the velvet glove off and just smack you with an armed fist. Kern S ain't, man, y'all, good goodness gracious. I was looking at every time I peep over there, man. Oh my goodness, man. I'm glad I'm y'all friend. Good. Look at Mark Anthony. Man, I'm always keep it 100. Well, I'm glad I'm y'all friend. I'm telling you. And Sean just waiting in the background. Man, listen, man. I'm glad that I'm on the right side of history. I'm on the right side of history, boy, because y'all something. Man, I appreciate y'all. Somebody said, the system just need right guidance. The system has corrupted and overwhelmed the majority of our people's minds. So I'm going to condemn her so much. She needs help. So I'm not going to condemn her so much. I agree with bro, too. Yeah, but, man, I'm on the right side of justice, man. It's real talk. Yeah, 1, 2.
Put back in the hood. Oh, we own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it the good. Now don't
get out of here.
Be a God, we own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it the good.
Get
Now
out of here.
get your own Quran. You can be a God, we own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it the good. Now don't it. Now get your own Quran. You can be a God, we own it.
$1.50 a piece, but you're going to have to get the whole demonstration, man. I put a lot of work in this. I put a lot of work in this, man.
Didn't I try to tell y'all? I'm the king of this YouTube. Ain't worried about you dudes. Ain't nothing that you do to make me care. But I pray to Allah, you don't take me there. See, I'm the type to get in front this mic and sacrifice. Alright, you the type to get in front the mic and hope you get some likes. I used to back the thing, that go bang bang and boom. Today, my brain cells is a fully armed army platoon. And y'all some cartoons, coons and buffoons. You wanna meet on IG? I prefer high noon. I'm a quick draw McGraw standing on that floor. It's self, Lord and Master, Allah. See you dumb and you blind, can't see the summer is mine. You better pay attention, the answer's in between the lines. I'm the man still standing, kill them haters single-handed. Had them fighting each other with every punch I landed. Cut the head off the snake and his wife Medusa. And after Sinetta got the rest of them losers. Inky Yuck Yuck, Neil Bay in the debate league. Queen's Phone, Sweet Mom, and Triple C. Uncle Sug, OC, and the rest of them lanes. See, I'm calling names cause I ain't playing no games. Don't let your bride write a check that you know gon' bounce. Take heed from Dr. Inky, he out for the count.
See, I've been doing my workout. I've been on my raw diet. I've been eating that raw seaweed. I've been doing my push-ups. I've been getting my back rubbed. I've been doing my workout. I was ready for these things. We got Yuck Yuck putting guns to the head. We got Inky in the background. He back here crying now. We got Sinetta having Bible study. It's not a game, man. Talk away, we run this thing. It's not a game, I said. It's not a game.
I be that more you gon' remember, be more. I be that more you gon' remember, nap time. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember, LA. I be that more you gon' remember, New York. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number.